Hey everyone, just kind of an old style video, just talking about the latest news in the NHL. So the Utah NHL team came out with some potential names. Definitely go look on Twitter, look online. Utah HC is just not it for me. But my top three in terms of the names out there right now are Utah Yeti and Utah Mammoth at the top. I think the logo potential there is great. I think Utah Blizzard could also be a good potential. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Utah had about 500,000 people vote, and those were the top. But I do think there's other potential names that could have been there. I know people talked about Swarm, but I do think Utah, Mammoth, or Yeti have pretty good potential. So we'll see where that goes. Also, Elliot Friedman threw this out there. I've talked about it a little bit, but now obviously Friedman talking about it definitely puts it out there. So I talked about Jake Guentzel getting a high cap hit and talking about maybe like he could go out to one of the California teams, or maybe closer to home, as Elliot Friedman outlines, like a Detroit who could have a lot of cap flexibility, or Chicago. So that's the name that Elliot Friedman dropped. Potentially Guentzel playing with Connor Bedard. I could see it. I mean, I talked about either a Detroit or Chicago handing Guentzel 10 plus million. Maybe that's the case of Chicago having so much cap flexibility. Detroit, I wouldn't count out either. I think both those teams closer to home for Guentzel. I think it could be a potential. Detroit's obviously closer to the playoff picture, but I don't think it would be a bad thing for Jake Guentzel playing potentially on a top line with, if Taylor Hall gets healthy, Hall, Bedard, and Guentzel. That's a pretty good line. So keep an eye on that, guys. And then just across the board, there's a lot of conversations around Mitch Marner. This will be the last kind of topic of the video. I'll make other videos like this, just kind of like talking about NHL news lately. But Marner's camp, not willing to talk extension. I mean, it's getting to a joke territory, right? We're still on that culture. I think we're going to see really it come to head here, where the new management, new coaching is not going to put up with this. Marner's camp talking about, oh, we're not going to talk extension. We're not going to even be open to a trade. We're just going to sit tight and let it ride here. You know what? The camp and Marner can do a lot of things with the no movement clause, and that's Dubas's fault for handing it out. But the team can do a lot of things too. The team can put him in certain situations, take him out the power play, not put him in top six situations, limit his ice time, take him off for some nights. I mean, there's a lot of things this team can do that can make his life hard. They haven't done it publicly yet. Trey Livings kind of talked about that he wants to make a fair trade. I think they should make it rougher on him. We'll see what happens. Obviously, respect to the human being, but this is one of the biggest franchises in terms of value in sports, and we just haven't seen it in the playoffs. So it's unacceptable at this point. I've talked about Marner trades, and I'm probably going to have to make videos soon talking about how the Leafs could look different again with Mitch Marner still on this team. Because I did it last year after I thought Marner should be traded. And then I was the one to suggest that they could sign both Bertuzzi and Domi. A lot of people called me idiots. A lot of people called me an idiot. And at the end of the day, they signed both of them. So I think I'm going to have some scenarios where they can make some new additions on the defense group, on the forward group, even potentially a goaltender, with still keeping Mitch Marner. So keep an eye on that, guys. Mitch Marner making it hard on the Leafs, Jake Guentzel, maybe to Chicago, and the Utah NHL teams out there right now. I don't know how people want Utah HC. To me, it's just dumb. My top two right now in terms of logo potential, in terms of how cool it could be, Mammoth and Yeti. I think Blizzard, you could work with it. And then I didn't even talk about like the potential for Utah moves really yet, outside of when the name came out. But we'll see what happens with that. And then I know Utah Venom was also out there. I think it could be cool, but I like the other potentials. So guys, subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. We'll talk in the next one. Peace.